another 10 years, and maybe this is a little beyond the scope of the 2026 plan, but I know you're also looking out 30 years, and you did address it. It's got proximity to the main campus, and you talked about the high value of the main campus real estate. What kinds of uses have been talked about to be put in that space?
As I mentioned, thank you for your question. As I mentioned, we're very early in our thinking about many of these things, so I would say with all honesty that we haven't thought specifically about what might happen on Springdale. As I think was maybe indicated in the slide, and if not, I'll just say again, the primary uses would be academic, just because of its proximity to the existing academic components of campus. Probably there would also be some role for residential colleges, either for undergraduate or graduate students. In particular, we heard a lot in our conversations on campus about the isolation of the graduate college and its feeling of remove from the campus. So again, without having got that far yet, there are some sensible kind of options that might look at some continuity of residential development along potentially the top part of the site. I think really importantly, as I tried to communicate, is that it would be based on a really strong system of open spaces if it was to change. So certainly we see the opportunity of restoration of the creek as a fundamental component of that. But in the same way, and as I mentioned, one of the principles of this work is to continue the distinct sense of place that exists on the historic and newer parts of the main Princeton campus. So how could that be carried over to Springdale so that it felt like a unified part of the campus, should that be developed? And again, the timing of that is highly unknown.
Just one other addition to that. In the diagram that Cindy showed that had the complexity of pedestrian and bicycle paths, this restoration of the stream the restoration of the stream at Springdale also offers an opportunity to have a recreational path all along it, really from Mercer Street all the way down to the towpath system along Lake Carnegie. So if anything, I think it's the natural setting that we've been most thoughtful about, recognizing how important that is to the future of that development.
I would just, if I may, add just one or two things. We do recognize, as Cindy said, that it backs up against a neighborhood. So as you thought about what you might do there, you would certainly take that into account. At an earlier session, in a different setting, we were reminded that there's also some historic significance on that site, and we would take that into account in thinking about what we would do there. I mean, the shortest answer is we don't know yet, but we know the kinds of considerations we would take into account in making those decisions.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was very, Lance Liverman, President of Princeton Council. It was a very good presentation.